Hi, my name's John. I'm a product specialist at TMS Volvo. I'm going to show you some little bits on the XC40 Recharge. We've got the Recharge Twin here today, so it's two electric motors on both axles, on the front and the rear. So we've got an all-wheel drive electric XC40. So I'm going to show you the new Google system in the car with all the Google Maps and Google services. So we've got the modern touchscreen here with the simplistic kind of Swedish minimalist style. Google Maps at the top, so the full native sat-nav now being Google Maps, and also opening all the Google services. So I have my account connected to this as part of my profile, so it's got my home and my work. The beautiful thing with Google Maps as well is that it kind of aids you in connecting to other charging stations. So if I was to put something like Edinburgh in here, which we know is much further away than the range of the car, which is around 250-260, we can see here that we can the sat-nav or the Google Maps will tell us that there is a charging station that we can go to. So we'll see charging needed on arrival, otherwise we'll have 0%. So we can add a charging stop here, and it gives us options of different charging stations. It tells us how fast we can charge. So there's some rapid chargers in the country, and we can charge for 15 minutes. So it's not a long wait. Some of them, of course, will be about 55 minutes for the slower chargers. But if we were to choose like the 50-minute charge here, then it will deviate our path to this charging station, charge for 15 minutes and 150 kilowatt, which is the maximum that we can charge these cars on the rapid chargers through the DC charging. And then we're able to continue our journey to Edinburgh without any kind of range anxiety, as the map looks after us. Also, with the system, all of it is touchscreen, including the climate control here at the bottom, where we've got access to our heated seats, heated steering. Of course, Volvo being a safe conscious brand, they will try and push you more to use the voice system. And of course this has the Google Assistant. We can also activate this with the button on the steering wheel right here, or we can even say, "Hey Google, set temperature to 20 degrees.
Sure, changing the temperature to 20 degrees.
So a very easy and fluid way of course, controlling the car. The car also comes with all the standard Volvo safety technology, all the city safety, all the auto braking and collision warnings, lane keeping aid. So all the list is now become very standard in Volvos. We've got our 360 camera, which allows us to view all around the car and individually select each camera as well. So my favourite's the front-facing camera, solely because of the wide angle. That fisheye lens just creates a lovely perspective. So if we were coming out of a driveway that was visibly blocked on the right and left sides by bushes or walls, then we can see pedestrians or cyclists coming down from the left and right sides. So really good perspective there. So what we'll do is we'll take it out for a drive. I'll show you how it feels. Right, so now we're driving the twin motor, and the great benefit of the twin motor is, of course, acceleration, all-wheel drive, because of the two motors on the two axles. So, of course, this car being an electric car and the benefits of electric having instant torque, the 0 to 60 is 4.9 seconds. There's also a single motor version as well, which is a front-wheel drive version, and that's around 7.6 seconds 0 to 60. But the great thing about that is that you've got instant acceleration, which of course gives you more confidence of overtaking and getting out of sticky situations, and you don't have to worry about any kind of lag. But also the front wheel version is also sufficient in its acceleration. At the moment I'm driving in also one pedal mode, which is a big feature of electric cars, the resistance, whereas the regen braking. So now I'm solely just driving on one pedal. I haven't touched the brake since I've set off in the car, and it's very easy to master. It took me about 15-20 minutes of driving, and like I say, now I'm coming up to a junction, and I just come off the pedal and you'll feel the car kind of brake on its own. and you'll kind of anticipate how much over time, and yeah, kind of master the one pedal mode, so you don't really have to use the brake, which is kind of using more energy on the brakes. So this is using the electric motor and the resistance in the electric motor to bring the car to a stop, and it will come to a full stop through the regen braking. Really smooth driving. The weight of the car is very well centered, solely because of the way that Volvo have built the car, and all their hybrid cars as well. They've placed the battery in the center tunnel, so there's a beautiful kind of center of gravity feeling. So you'll feel this kind of divide when you sit in any kind of new Volvo now, modern Volvo now, and that's because of that battery in the center. But when you'll feel it when you're driving as well. Find some electric cars of other brands tend to put the weight around the car, and you'll feel that when you're going around corners and things. So there's a beautiful feel of handling in these new Volvos. At the moment, while we're on the dual carriageway, this car of course has one of the driver assistants called Pilot Assist, so it adds the elements of adaptive cruise, and also now that I've engaged it, we'll do like these bends on the dual carriageway or motorways. So most motorway dual carriageway bends are quite broad, and the car will manage all those bends. Of course, my hands have to stay on the steering wheel. That is a safety. It's not full autonomous driving. Call it semi-autonomous. So the car will feel my hands on the wheel. If it doesn't, then of course it's going to flag up to me and tell me not to touch the steering wheel, put my hands on the steering wheel. But you can relax and you can let the car kind of drive you on long journeys, and it will take away that fatigue of driving long distances. Of course, the car is also using all the safety elements that Volvo implement into their cars, and all their cars, and those are standard, of course, because that is Volvo's main philosophy, which is safety. So anything that may happen, if it's a car or a cyclist, pedestrian, or even a large animal like an elk that jumps in front of the car, then that will of course allow the car to auto brake using sensors in the top cabin here. One of the reasons why they actually put it up in this section here is because if we put the radars behind the grille, like a lot of cars do, then things like dirt and snow can block the radars. So having it up here is just out of the way, and we can use the wipers, of course, that wipe it across the sensors to clear any dirt that does collect in front of the radar. So it's a very clever positioning for all the safety systems on the Volvos. Great. So when we start the car, there's no buttons or switches to actually start the electric XC40 Recharge. How it works is that the sensor inside the seat, so when we sit in the seat, the car knows that the driver is in the seat, and then the car starts. So all we have to do is just put it into drive, and away we go. Before we get out of the car, of course, we put it into park, and then the handbrake comes on, and then as soon as we get off the seat, or the driver gets off the seat, then the car knows it's time to turn off. We lock the car and we walk away. So it's a very kind of strange change to go through from a combustion engine vehicle, where we're used to putting a key in or pressing a button to start the car with most modern combustion engine cars now. A lot of electric cars as well start with a start button, so it's a little bit different, but it just adds a lot more convenience. Once you get used to it, you're just stepping in your car, you drive away, and then once you stop, you step out of your car and lock it. So it just makes it that much more easier for your lifestyle. So we're going to navigate, so I'm going to ask Google, hey Google, take me to TMS Volvo.
There are 2 Volvo locations nearby. The one on London Road is 5.6 miles away. Should I add that destination?
Yes.
Okay, I'm setting your destination to TMS Coventry, Volvo cars on London Road.
Perfect. Right, so away we go. So we can use the Google Assistant to, of course, control the car, like I showed with the climate, setting destinations, but you've got the full Google Works on the car. The car, of course, is connected to the internet constantly, and a lot of the times if we're in a situation where we need the internet, then we've got access to the Google Store, where we can download apps that allow us to have, you know, safe car related apps, things like audio, map apps as well, that we can add to the car just to kind of expand on the functionality. With some of the Google services as well, you've got access to, of course, Google Translate, so I can say, hey Google, how do you say hello in Swedish?
In Swedish, you would say, hey.
So there's lots of Google Translate. You can say, hey Google, tell me a joke.
Why shouldn't you write with a broken pencil? Because it's pointless.
So it can be very entertaining for the kids as well, but it's just so expansive, and it's constantly updating itself as well. There's over-the-air updates, so you're not having to take your car in to the workshop to get new software updates. It's doing it as you drive, and then it will install when the car's locked. And the beautiful thing about that is that the car is going to be constantly updating itself over the time of ownership, or the time that you have the car. So it's never going to be the same car from the day you've got it to the day that you stop having it. Got some of the apps here, so car status, where we can see like tyre pressures and things, and as like I said, as updates, more and more updates come out in future, we'll see more and more things added to the car. I believe in about spring of this year we'll have Apple CarPlay, and lots more apps will be developed for the car as well. Thank you for watching the demo in the XC40 Recharge. If you need any information about the XC40, please contact TMS Volvo. We've got test drives in this twin XC40, and any other XC40 information or any Volvo information, please get in contact with us.